Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. I have here all the different decks. This is an introduction to the readings. I'm using 4 different decks, and so I'm here to tell you that I'll be doing the mixing off camera for 3 of the decks, laying the spread as you see, and then when I'm with you, I will mix the Vera Sibilla cards and clarify with you. And then I'll be using my runes, and this month I'll be using tiger eyes runes because the contrast is a little easier to see. And of course, as I say that, you cannot see that. Okay. Now, the decks I'll be using is my picture postcards. For a few, I'll take a few of those. Then I'll be using the Happy Tarot, which is a delightful deck. The Happy Tarot. And then I'll be using the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Take 1 card from there. And of course, then Vera Sibilla. This time I'll be using the Vera Sibilla that is a very rare deck, very rare. And I use it sparingly because I can't find a replacement. All right, so on to our readings. Thank you, old and new subscribers. Thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Okay, Aries. Welcome, Aries. Old and new subscribers. I have the spread, as I said, out. Let me show you this. The first card, the entrance card, is the gate. You see the poultry there. It's a gate. Now, the second card is from the Happy Tarot, which is the Ace of Wands. Then I have from the Happy Tarot the Hanged Man. Then I have the Voodoo Tarot, a Congo card, La Place. And the last is the A Starry Night, Mississippi Queen by Waldron. Ryan Lee Waldron. Starry Night, Mississippi Queen. All right, now you come into the month, Aries, of July, asking yourself, which side, literally, of this fence, are you? Are you looking out or looking in? And it's not a matter, Aries, of thinking that you're on the fence and you don't have a decision-making process. No, you're asking yourself if the reflection that you see, if your concept, your perception of where you are spiritually. This has nothing to do with your work life, your emotions, your any kind of activity that you have, if you're losing weight, gaining weight. No, it has to do more of an existential question, a spiritual question, asking yourself, not if I am, Aries, on the right path, but do I get a proper reading of my path? Do I have do I know well? Am I perceptive enough to the point of thinking that I am where I am? You question your perception as you come into the month of July. And the question, how do you answer, the action that you take is very, very, not extreme, but very powerful. You are taking matters into your hands. You go right to those of you who are in therapy, you step up the number of times you see your therapist. Those of you who do meditation to reach different planes, do so more often in July. You make the time for yourself so you're able to have this inner dialogue and to calm, finding absolute silence, which is a luxury for you, especially in the month of July. There's a lot of coming, going, and you're out there with this fiery passion of wanting to put up boundaries so you can stay still. This is the way you go about it, so you can find your eyes again, your soul's eyes again. Now, the place where you're at in the best place, best way I can say it is the place that you're at, your environment, the context that you are living in the month of July is one of inviting you precisely to see things in a different perception, to have a different perception with this Hanged Man. It's a very gamefully played card, you know. If you're playing a game of poker, you don't have a poker face. You're not able to put the wool over anybody's eyes, okay? It's a month where the place where you are and where you are working, where your context is, your romantic life, every aspect of your life is asking you, please take a step back and see things differently, view things differently. An example of this is if you are in legal dispute, okay? Take a step back and try to view that case differently. Or if you are demanding alimony from a former husband or wife, you take a step. The cards are suggesting you take a step back and see things differently in order for you to experience that more easily and more calmly and more harmoniously. Very interesting, this. And the emotional life, your emotional life is going to bring you to a crossroads. It seems that there will be a moment in July, the entire month really, where you think, okay, I can definitely say, Aries is talking, my life up to this point was before. From this moment, from July on, is when there's going to be there's something new coming. There is a new you, a new Aries, a new life you're deciding on. You're the one who's deciding exactly how you want it to be. And you definitely know that there's going to be two lives, one before July, one after July. This is a watershed period, a very important moment. Just a second, I'm going to be back. I have to turn on the light. There you go. Now it's a little clearer, a little more light for me too. And the outgoing card, this card of change, during the month of July, what does it tell you? It tells you that you're all dressed up and know where to go. It's as if you're making the plans and very, very sure that what you're doing is leading you to that other side, to that other world, to that other life, the second time round. This is a second time round. July is offering you another time, another chance, a second time round. Now, what's interesting here is this Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is such a powerful presence among these other cards that it sees you being so gung-ho, so sure of what you're doing, and so dynamic in bringing forward something. Not necessarily that adamant of closing something. You think that automatically will occur. And it does. You think it'll just happen. And also interesting for me to see is this Hanged Man, which is Neptune in Pisces. The Pisces period is February 21st, March 20th. This is going to take you from July until that Pisces period, for you to be able to turn back and say, that's right. I remember July when I was making decisions and making plans, because now in the Pisces period is what I wanted. This is the fruit of my labor. Okay, now I'm going to take these Vera Sibilla cards and for clarification, and let's see what they have to add here. I'm going to first clarify the Ace of Wands. Yeah, okay, look. There we talked about Pisces, all right, and the Pisces period. There is a quite a bit of change that's going to happen from July until the Pisces period 2019. And it's going to be a rough road, a rocky road, but a road that will lead you to have a much better ease of movement, ease of decision-making process, ease of settling in that second part of your life. But it's going to take this entire period. What do I have? I've got Legitids of the lightness of being. And it also foreshadows, however, the negative side of the Legititsa card also foreshadows something looming in the immediate future. I have here Morte, the death, and there is here an announcement of how can I say it? Disequilibrium, I think there's a word, something that is going off balance. There's going to be something happening that will tip the scales for you, when it will undermine your sense of security, where perhaps you knew that it was coming, but nonetheless it will give you a quite an emotional shock in that period, July, February, next February. Then I have Messaggero, and now Messaggero is also a bearer of news. It is not the news itself, but it is a bearer of news, and it's a bearer of news that tells you that you're going to, what does the butterfly come from? Another animal. There is going to be a rejuvenation. There's going to be a complete change in your life, due to a series of events that occur from July to next February 2019. A lot of you, I know, right under my videos, why are you talking about months in the future? This is a July reading, and in effect, but the cards tend to tell you what they want and what is important, and that is important. So July, February next year is a trying time for you, but a time that will bring you into another life where there is much lightness of being. I'm going to the Hanged Man, and what do I have here? I've got the Superbia. This is pride, vanity, and this also here I have Malinconia, melancholy, nostalgia, and falsità, lies, which are also which can also be information that may rock your boat, you know, may undermine your happiness in some way. And this is telling me, remember I said before, that it has to do with your environment in the month of July, an invitation to see things differently, an invitation to see any occurrence that will unfold from July to February in a different light, in a completely different light. And I'm going to take this a card of the Starry Night on the Mississippi and see what this has to tell me. Okay, the clarification cards are painting a picture that is telling you, Aries, look, you're going to have a difficult time ahead, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, and February, and then you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. Deliranti, the delirious, being delirious. This is also a card that talks about courage. It talks about courage, it talks about hope, and it talks about pain. It talks about all of those abstract concepts that have to do with our emotions, especially in light of changes that are underway for you in that time. Gifts, regali, but this is also counsel. These are telling you that take heed of the cards and their voice, because then we have denaro. This is renovation and a future, a bright future, because what is in store for you on that other half of that watershed that we talked about is going to be quite a surprise for you. Now, one more clarification here, and we'll see if what that has to say. Over la place, the Congo card. I have lettera, then sacerdote, the priest. Now, the letter sees and foretells news coming in. Sacerdote is also, the priest, is also a bearer of news in its own way, but it's a bearer of news that can give you cause, can give you concern. Why I'm saying that is that I have the donna di servizio, the housemaid, and this is a gift. It's a gift of, it's like the pietre preziosi, it's like the gifts in this deck. It tells you positive things. So what they're saying, you're getting a message here. Your emotions are going to feel that, yes, I'm seeing all black in front of me, but I do see with a different perspective something more, because I'm seeing the gifts coming. Very interesting reading, very, very interesting reading, and very in-depth. Let me take now a look and cast the runes and see what they have to offer. Okay. Okay. Well, you know, this is quite a casting here. First of all, the notion of the hanged man and seeing things differently, that is by Othala, is telling me that is exactly what we need for you to be able to get through the next 6-7 months from July forward. It is that change of perspective. The journeying room, going forward, Aiwats, it is highlighting this action, this passion that you have, and it is that Aries that is going to be your saving grace. Urus, it's going to be your challenge as well. It will be a challenge. It's the challenge that you will stand to, and you will stand to it. The nameless, faceless rune, weird, in a way that only you know how to do, and doing it the way you want to do. It's going to be a sort of shell shock that it will bring you back to who you are and what your capabilities are. Now I have here Lagos, and Lagos, Bright Stave, tells us that it is there, it's going to go rather smoothly, but it's not without its difficulties. I have Tyr here, and Tyr tells us that although the difficulties are there, we've got Tyr and we've got Ingvats that tells me this Aries is a time that can only serve your, it's not for the faint of heart, and Aries, you are not faint of heart. It is a time that is going to usher in such a change that you will see in 2019 a complete game changer for you, a complete change. You will want to change even your career. You're going to, if you, those of you who haven't gone back to school or gone back to a certain course, taking specialized courses, this is going to happen in the year 2019. Completely, like I said, it's the before July Aries and then the after July Aries. Wow. Interesting, and I'm glad I'm here to give you this message. I do hope this was of help to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. Old subscribers and new subscribers. Have a great month of July. Namaste. Bye-bye. Also, those of you who want a private reading, please go to my website, www.christellemartinette.com, and you'll find under readings, there'll be a page there explaining everything, or just write to me, readings@christellemartinette.com. Bye-bye.